Okay, we should be live. Do we have a notification? There we go. Now we can see the comment. Should be live. Okay, Miss Alex, are you ready?
Ready and waiting.
Waiting for what?
Waiting for you to
Pay attention
put
to
me
you?
first.
You are first.
You can't even say that's a good save.
Hi, guys. Mike Keck's watching. Sherry Houck's watching. Hey, Mike, what's happening? All right, so let's get underway here.
Okay, look like it.
So, welcome to our April 5th video newsletter. That didn't help.
No. No, I guess it didn't.
So, once again, let me start over. Welcome to our April 5th video newsletter. Here we are again. And guess what's new and exciting this week?
What?
The bars and the restaurants have loosened their restrictions up a little bit. Did you know that?
Well, I totally forgot about it, as usual.
Trying to spell restaurants correctly here, and I'm having trouble. Yeah, so I guess the way that it works now is you don't have to order food and to get a drink, and also they can sit at the bar. Now, apparently they have to sign some kind of self-policing thing, which I know nothing about, which most of them balked at last time, so who knows.
So in order to sit at the bar, you have to self-certify?
I don't know that. But I saw on the news today that they had that you can sit at the bar and you don't have to order a hard-boiled egg with your beer. If you put a hard-boiled egg in a beer, does it float anyway? Sounds gross, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, it's better than a raw egg in your beer. Oh, here's our handicapper.
You know?
So that's what's new this week.
You know, put your butt up against the camera.
So what do you... Yeah, how's the view of Pino's rear end, people? So,
he's coming to you.
What do you call cheese that is not your cheese, Alex?
What do you call cheese that is not your cheese?
Nacho cheese.
Okay.
All right, so did you know the world's largest billiard hall was built during billiard's golden age? The Recreation. A mammoth 7-story health spa was a building... Bustling Detroit in the 1920s.
Bustling Detroit business.
It featured 103 tables, 88 bowling lanes, 20 barber chairs, 3 manicuring stands, 14 cigar stands, a lunch counter on each floor, a restaurant that could seat 300, and an exhibition room with theater seating that could accommodate 250 spectators.
That's pretty cool.
Now, I guess the largest billiard hall now in the country is where we have our Midwest Challenge, or Mid-Atlantic Challenge, which is Q Masters down in Virginia Beach, and they have, like, I think 84 tables or something like that. 85 tables. That's quite a few pool tables.
The jury's still out on that, isn't it?
Yep, we have to work on it, and we haven't really spent too much time with it.
I think it's probably because there's so much going on at the end of the year. You know, so traveling.
So we have a bunch of people watching. Todd says hello. Everybody else is just watching.
Okay.
So last week's event was our final 8-ball
World Pool qualifier for 2020.
We are just flying along. Congratulations, Varuk.
Well, I looked up the definition today because I thought it meant crazy eights, but it means like mean bad. Because I wanted to put
Angry eight.
Angry eight.
Yeah, that's what I thought it meant. Angry eight.
Because I wanted to put that translation on the form for APA. So
not that I know Dutch, but that's what somebody told me.
Yeah.
So the upcoming event is we are beginning our 9-ball World Pool qualifiers.
Start this weekend, right?
We have 2 this week and 1 next week.
And next week is also, is it the Megan Hudson tournament next weekend, the 17th?
That is the 17th, yes. I just got the awards done for that today. So you want to make a note. Connie Valley says she's looking for a pool team.
Connie, did you post it on our Facebook page?
I don't know. She just says she's looking for a team. So
It's
we'll
the
have to
best
keep that in
place
mind.
to find one. Okay.
The 17th is the Meg tournament. Yes. So that being said, we're going to get into our rule reminder. Connie says no, but she will now.
Okay.
Is the frozen ball rule. And the reason that I bring this up is I saw several frozen balls this weekend. And I'm talking on the pool table now, Alex. It wasn't that cold this weekend. The opponent did not clear the frozen ball frozen, so therefore the rule does not come into effect. So if there is what's that?
No, it's just segueing your.
So if you have a frozen ball situation, and there was a bunch of them, I was surprised the amount of balls that were not declared frozen. A frozen ball is a ball that is touching another ball or rail. In order for the frozen ball rule to be in effect, the ball must be declared frozen and verified as such by the shooter and their opponent. If the players in the match cannot agree upon, a third party may be asked to determine if the ball is frozen. Object ball frozen to a rail. The frozen ball must be struck, and the player must either drive the frozen ball to another rail or into a pocket, drive the frozen ball into another ball, which in turn hits a rail or goes into a pocket. I think that's kind of obvious. Or drive the cue ball to a rail or a pocket, or pocket a ball after the cue ball touches the frozen ball. A simultaneous hit is a foul if you fail to drive the ball or any other ball, different rail, or pocket a ball.
Are you skipping over words?
No, I'm just that bad of a reader. My less Dixie is coming into play here. So I'm talking particularly with the part with the rail. Now, if you talk frozen to another ball, that's a whole other ball game. But so if you guys are playing, remember, watch for a frozen ball and declare it. That was really not very smooth, was it?
No, not at all.
Todd
I would suggest going to your team manual and reading the rule.
Apley is looking for players for the next session.
Well, that would be the Harrisburg area.
So Connie Valley is probably a little too far away for that
A little
one.
too far.
So scorekeeping. Here we go. So apparently I was proven wrong again. Our ongoing argument. Not hitting the rack and scratching on a break, then letting your opponent take the turn because you thought it was their turn does not apparently count as a defense, although I still believe it should.
It's just not. It's nothing. It's
that to me makes no sense. To me, there's
well,
no...
if you scratch, doesn't it just go to the other person anyway?
Not if you don't hit the rack. It's your turn, and you've chosen to not go.
Let's not go down this road again. I got the official answer. It's not a defense. But what is a defense?
That's only on the break.
What is a defense is if you hurt your arm and you can't break, and you have to give your break up to the other team. That is a defense.
Now, how is that different from just not taking your turn and handing it to another person?
I read it in the book today.
How is... would someone explain to me the difference between somebody who defers the break and somebody who chooses not to break?
Well, what normally happens with... because there's no intent to pocket a ball if you give up the break before you actually try to break. When you're trying to break, you're not going to tell me that you're not trying to get a ball in. You're just not going to be able to convince me or all of our players that.
But my argument is
you
that
have no argument.
You still have to. You still have your turn, and you've given your turn up.
But you normally have given your turn up not because you have intent, because you don't know the rule.
So if you don't know it's a defense, does that mean it's not a defense?
Oh my God, Walter. It's not a defense.
I think that's what you just said.
No, I'm not. People that hand the ball over to the other opponent for the break incorrectly do it most likely because they don't know what the rule is. So to answer your questions, and I'm done talking about this,
I'm
It's
not.
not. I
I'm
know
calling
you're
the
not.
APA
I know
myself,
you
and they're
are.
going to have to convince me separately on their own.
Oh, you just, you're like an elephant when it comes to this stuff.
I didn't realize I put on that much weight. What are you trying to tell me?
All right, so
Etiquette.
this
Here
whole
we go.
okay, so we've been harping on this for 9 years. Be ready for your match. What does ready mean, Walter? Ready means know who you're throwing, have your pool cues together, have your cigarette smoked, and have your cocktail in hand. That is being ready for your match. So, in the same context as that, the score sheet message was about splitting tables. If the fourth match has not occurred by 2 hours after official league starting time, which is 7 o'clock, and there's a table available, you must split the match. If the fifth shooter is not available at that time, it's a forfeit. If both teams agree not to split the table and the bar closes, too bad. Those matches are going to be incomplete and no one's going to get credit for them. On that same topic, if your club is reopening and they have an 11 o'clock shutdown, you're either going to have to be home by 11, like you should be if you do everything that we're asking you to do, or pick another club because, again, when that club closes at 11 o'clock and you're only in your fourth match, too bad, so sad.
So Derek is commenting that sometimes he's waiting more than 3 minutes for the opponent to pick their player. It's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
So let's just say
The new rule book says you have 1 minute to pick the shooter.
So let's
get
just
to
say,
the table.
say for the hell of it, on average, the match ends on average now. If all four throws take 3 minutes after the first throw, we'll just assume the match started on time just for argument's sake. So that's an extra 12 minutes. Then if you add 3 minutes for your shooter to decide they're ready because you didn't warn them in advance, that's 12 minutes. And then you add 3 more minutes for the other shooter to be ready on top of that because they have to take a piss or they got to smoke their cigarette or they got to get their cocktail. That's 12 more minutes there. That's 40 minutes you've just added to your match. And people complain when a timeout takes 15 seconds too long.
Yeah. So yeah, like we're not going to get in the habit of doing these partial matches just because a bar closes at a certain time. You're either going to have to figure out, like, if you want to shoot there and suffer the consequences, or if you want to, stay where you are for another session or until that bar relaxes their time constraints a little bit more.
Be careful what you say about skill levels. Pino is listening.
Yeah.
So what is the best
Okay, so I'm not done yet.
What's okay? Well, my question is, what's the best workaround for that?
Pick a bar that's opened.
Well, I'm talking about to have your players ready on time.
The captain needs to manage the team, and the captain needs to manage the time. And I think what a lot of players don't realize is, like, for example, when we want you to mark your pocket, we're not like, mark your pocket. We want you to get in the habit so when you're in Vegas, it's something you just do and don't think about. A captain needs to try to manage the time of the team because when they go to the next level in tournament, all of a sudden you have sudden death. And I'd say the majority of the teams went to sudden death this past weekend.
There was many sudden deaths.
And trust me, in a higher level tournament, in most cases, you don't want to be in sudden death.
My favorite though is still when somebody when the team knows they're close to sudden death, they have like minutes to avoid it, and then they pick their player, and then what does the player do?
Go to the bathroom.
Go to the bathroom. Happens all the time.
I know pool's supposed to be fun, but as captains, we have to, try to instill best practices so that when you do move up to these higher level tournaments, you're doing things instinctively. Your team is ready to go. You're not, forcing a sudden death. And in Vegas too, it's like, yeah.
in my opinion, through my experience, if teams, the best way to move a match along overall, far and away, is to have your throws done before the previous match ends and have your players ready to go. If you sit with like one match, with like one game to go, if you say to your player, you're up, and then you go to the other team, you say, I am putting in so and so. And then if that team has their shit together, then they'll say, well, I'm playing this player, then everybody is ready to go. I could tell you too that I've seen captains already go over with like 2 games to go, and then they'll say, hey Alex, I'm putting Joe in. And Alex will be, all right, thank you very much. The end of the match, Alex is there like, okay, now who am I going to
Dun,
put
dun,
in?
dun,
Yeah.
dun, dun. And I think also too, I mean, and a lot of that has to do with experience because you hear, well, I don't know what I'm going to do till, you
Oh,
know.
I know.
So I mean, good captaining comes from experience, and it also comes from ahead of your match when you're looking over the team you're going to play. Putting these various scenarios in your head. If this happens, we play this person. If that happens, we play that person.
Like if you're trying to pin the other team into a corner with your throw, which is like was always one of my favorite tactics.
Of course, it was.
If you're trying to figure out what throw will confound the other team, the time to wonder about that is not after the match is over. Like you should have at least an idea of what you're doing before the match is over.
And again, and all that is going to do is, add to you getting home by 11. I'm done harping on that. Where is the sheet of paper? You getting any questions?
So we did have quite a few matches in sudden death. That's why we were talking about this. Okay.
And again, I want to talk about sportsmanship a little bit, and not so much in this area, but in some other areas. There are some hot-headed players that if they lose, of course, everyone and their brother is underranked, pitching a fit, calling players outside. Now, I'm not catching wind of this at the time it's happening. Like I hear it through the rumor mill. It's not going to be tolerated. If something like that happens and your division rep finds out about it, he or she has the permission to suspend you on site. And trust me, you don't want that problem coming to me because you will get kicked out of the league for at least a year. There's no reason to fight at pool. There's no reason to throw anything. There's no reason to call anybody outside. I mean, we're all adults here.
Especially over someone's skill level. Like the players don't have any control over that.
No, they don't, the only control the players have over the skill levels is filling out the score sheets properly.
That is correct. Dan Jankowski wants you to call him after the meeting.
You're more of a rules person than I. I always break the rules.
Okay, what else we got, Alex? What else happened interesting this weekend?
Thank you, Connie, for hosting.
Yeah, Connie did a great job as always.
Tony did a great job cooking. The tournaments have been very calm since we do them this way. And I think the players are enjoying it. They don't feel so stressed out.
Oh, yeah, they do. They just don't show it.
Well, not like they do when we have, however many teams there at the other place. I don't know what we're going to do in the future.
I don't know. There was a lot of puckered buttholes this weekend. It was like you could cut the 10. There was one. I think everyone so far, like I've just had to walk away for like 5 to 10 minutes because the tension was so thick it was crazy.
See, I didn't feel it at all.
Oh, I did.
Yeah, well, not me. Mike Brown. Oh yeah,
that was crazy.
That was a crazy kick. It was a 2-row. Okay, what was up here? Which ball was up here? The 8 ball was up here. Was that the 2-row one? It came 2 rails and 1 up.
Yeah, he had to go.
So the 8 ball was by. The 8 ball was
in the bottom corner.
It was by this pocket.
It was in the bottom. Yeah, there you go. And it was actually frozen to another ball, or it was very close to another ball.
Yeah, it was crazy shot.
And he actually did a 2-rail kick, hit the 8 ball, which caromed off the other ball and went into the pocket.
Yeah, that was like insane.
It was a crazy shot, and there was 59 safeties in that match.
Yeah, that was a crazy match. some good pool playing this weekend for sure.
I must say, like, our safety play is going through the roof.
This weekend, yeah, there was so many safeties and good safeties.
I cannot wait to see how we do at nationals.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was so much good safety play this weekend. Like, and the it's trickling down in the lower skill levels now. They're starting to play defenses when they need to.
Some of the strategies that these captains applied to the matches this weekend were like spot on. Spot on. Very, very impressive.
Yeah, there was every match is like a nail biter.
It was. We're like
the semifinal one was like between 2 3s for a 1 game match one time, and it was close.
They were all close.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody got shut out.
Oh no, there was no
Yeah.
There was no blowouts that I saw.
And I mean, even though you don't want to lose, I mean, at least you get to play to the bitter end.
Sportsmanship was pretty good.
Yeah, I think so.
What else you got, Alex?
Birthdays. Happy birthday, Tierra Blatt. Happy birthday, Matt Slobodin. I don't know.
And that's
thank you to Byron for singing.
Oh yeah, Byron's doing a great job.
Who's going to sing on Saturday and Sunday?
I get a couple of people in mind that I got to ask.
Okay.
I just noticed that on our weekly video message it says 3/29/21. At least it's better than when I like 3 weeks in a row with the wrong date on it.
I don't know how to change any of that. Well, I don't do it enough to remember how to remember the steps.
Well, we can't change it right now.
Okay.
So that's all I got. Anybody got any questions or comments? I'm not seeing any questions.
Call Walter, Dan.
So, yep, we'll call Dan when we're done. I don't see any more questions. So, have a good week, everybody. I hope everybody had a great Easter, and we'll see our World Pool Qualifier teams on Saturday and Sunday. Ciao.
Bye.